I hope you guys are doing well today. I'm Jamie with Southeastern Soul Tribe. If you don't already know who I am, welcome. And if you would like to subscribe, please do so. Also, like the video if you like the way I read, and ring the notification bell so you get a notification anytime I do a new reading. I offer personal readings, they're $35. You get about an hour or so. It's one-on-one with me, either video, email. All that information is in the about section or below in this video. Right now, I'm about to read for Scorpio, and when I was getting everything prepared and getting ready to read after I'd already done my meditations this morning, these three cards fell out of my bag. And I don't know why, because I haven't fooled with these decks at all. But so there may be a message in here for you. I never look at anything as a coincidence, really. But I got the butterfly. It says relationship evolving to the next phase, or healing the inner child and growth. But this is also the same to me as transformational energy. So Scorpio may be going through a very transformational phase right now. And that's something that I wanted to bring up because they just didn't fall out for no reason. That doesn't happen every day. And also, unknown territory came out of this deck. It says you are exactly where you need to be. And then crossing bridges says it's time for healing, connecting, mending, and releasing, which definitely goes together with this. So I don't think there's a coincidence at all that these cards came out in the reading for you, Scorpio. Also, during meditation, I kept hearing a song by a group, sort of a new group called 49 Winchester. They're kind of an Americana country band, and it's a really sad song, so it's not something that I would listen to very often. However, I've listened to it a few times. But it's a song about someone who's brokenhearted and who hasn't moved on from someone, but the other person seems to be healing. And the chorus is what I kept hearing. And it goes, "You never did love me, and I think that you made that abundantly clear by the way that you're healing, the way that I'm feeling tonight. I'm in misery, and for you, everything is all right. Da 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 da." So that's how that goes. So, and then I was getting the words calm down, breadcrumbs, or equality. It was kind of going together. Breadcrumbs or equality. Like we don't know, you know. And the question, support, and then past lives, nostalgic memories, kids, and family. So Scorpio that I'm talking to today may be possibly dealing with kids and family, nostalgic memories, or someone from a past life. However you look at past lives, that's up to you. But someone in the scenario may quite be feeling that themselves or the other person is imbalanced in the way that one is healing past something that may have happened between one of you guys or just in the dynamic, and the other one just seems to be fine. And so let's see if that's what comes out in the cards or if that's just a separate message, because you never can tell with my reads. Most of the time these things go hand in hand. But yesterday's reading was crazy. It was with Libra, and during my morning things that I was doing, I was visiting with a friend, and we went to eat breakfast and all that. And We kept having things with shoes, and then right before I got ready to read, there was abandoned shoes. So if you got a Libra in your life, or you're just curious of how that went together, you should watch the Libra reading from yesterday. It was very intriguing, although the reading was a little bit confusing. Anyway, I hope somebody benefited from it. For Scorpio, spirit angels, ancestors, guides for our Scorpio collective. What does Scorpio need to see for their relationships? Spirit, messages. Whoa. You may be going through a period of rest and rejuvenation, or you may be put into that position at this moment. Because you may be completing a cycle. And a lot of times when you've gone through a lot of things, or you've gone through something painful, this is very necessary for you to replenish your energy. People don't, I'm just being brought to right now in my mind's eye and in my thought process here. When I worked in an office setting, in a corporate setting where I was always behind a desk for 8 hours a day or more, I would go home in my previous marriage, and that particular marriage, that spouse worked physical labor job. And I would hear it from other people that work physical labor. They're like, oh, I bet you're tired. You spent all day behind that desk pushing paper. I was out here in the hot sun. And people discount the amount of energy that it takes for you to go through certain mental or, in fact, healing processes. We've done that for many, many years, even in this country. We discount certain things that actually use up energy as frivolous. Okay, so when you're doing emotional work, emotional healing, things like that, hold on just a second. I forgot to do something real fast. Sorry about that. I had to turn off my notifications because I heard it in my ear. Anyway, so when you're doing emotional healing and things that are mental, that takes up a lot of energy too. So even when you're doing rest and rejuvenation, understand that that is necessary for your healing and for you to have the energy to go forward. So we actually give accolades sometimes to people who go, and they barely sleep, and then they get up and go again, and they go again. We deem them, I say we, society deems them as a harder worker than someone who actually has the self-love and the self-discipline to allocate only a certain time period for work and a time period for rest and a time period for family and a time period for love. That is an equally balanced person. Actually, the person who pushes forward in constant work and constant, all their energy goes into one thing is actually a very imbalanced individual. While there's great honor in a hardworking individual, there is a heavy imbalance if there's too much of anything. That's where Capricorn comes in. Capricorn energy. From the negative side, not the positive side. So you may be called right now to do rest and rejuvenation, or you may be in this period, or Spirit's asking you to, or you're coming out of that position. And it's a time of completion when you add these together. It comes to the 10. It's adding that one more thing to the 9 that's going to get you back into a centered space. It's the time of reflection as well when you do your rest and rejuvenation. You're reflecting upon the work, the cycle that you've just completed. You're putting all the puzzle pieces into the space that they belong. And you're kind of summing up the job that you did to say, okay, Now that's complete. Let me refresh. Now, next. Okay, so you go from the 10 to the 1 there. What else for Scorpio? Spirit, angels, ancestors, guides do you have from this deck? From the Energy Oracle? Yes, the World. So remember when I said you go from the 10 to the 1? Okay, now it's time for the World. That's the 11 card. Okay, so 10's behind us now. Here we are. We've wrapped it up. It's a whole new world, a new fantastic point of view. I don't know where to go. They say you're only dreaming a whole new world. I'm very intrigued by this card, and here's why. I think it was yesterday morning, or it might have been Friday. It was Friday. Yeah, Friday morning. I did my meditation. I pulled up at this new park. I always look up at these parks, you know, because as long as I've lived in this area, I've never made myself take time in nature and actually go to different parks, allocated points of nature like I have been doing lately. I have to do that for my peace, for my rest and rejuvenation. Okay, that's a personal thing for me to do. And I went to this particular park, and it was like a miniature man-made lake with a fountain in the middle of it, with a dock that went out on it. And it was to my surprise. I was so surprised and intrigued. I wanted to take a picture, and then I thought, no, this is for me. This is for me. I'm not going to show it to anybody. It's in my memory, and it's in my peaceful place. But now here it is coming up in this reading. There were lotus flowers in full bloom on the lily pads all over this lake. It was absolutely gorgeous, and there were yellow irises everywhere. And in this card, the World, this guy's walking out on a dock, and there are lotus flowers everywhere. The light of the day is showing the light side of the world beginning to brighten up, and the dark side of that moon energy is waning. So we are beginning to see a new light through the world that is wrapping itself up here and making its way into a brighter version of itself, closing out a cycle and moving into the other one, where we also get the butterfly effect here. It seems like unknown territory where there's a lot of wisdom. I see with the owl and the bird here, the freshness, even snow here in this situation, and crossing bridges for healing, connecting, mending, and releasing. So when you do this rest and rejuvenation and you meet the World here, where you're going from in between worlds, from one world into another, not literally, like we're talking metaphorically, right? Then you find healing there if you allow yourself the rest and rejuvenation to do that inner introspection and reflections upon the outer world that you experience during that cycle. Anything else for Scorpio? If you felt like that you've been out of place or whatever, realize that whatever may have been hard about the cycle that you just completed or that you're about to, that there's something in there for you to take forward using wisdom now. I feel like this is a side note. It came out in threes. We're going to look at the 6, which is the number I got for today for Scorpio, was the number 6. Door to romance. So you may be getting ready to open a new door, and it may be something that brings up a lot of emotion or feeling for you. And by looking at adjacent possibilities, which is also a 6 card. And then the thinking woman is here. This is Libra energy, Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius energy, actually, but it's air energy. It's a lot of thinking, research, thought processes, or you may actually be dealing with an air sign. And that's the 11 card. So this is the next cycle, I feel like, that Scorpio may be getting ready to enter into, or the person Scorpio's dealing with, because it came out separately and in a group of 3. And the number sequence here, the 6, 6, 11. So this, and we look at the 11 over here. So this is what's going to be at the ending of the cycle. But we're getting ready to open an adjacent door, going into this new world, into this new cycle that opens up a possibility or a cycle that involves the heart space. Okay? So I think that's the messages that we're getting out of that. Aha, look, at the bottom is the angel of love. So there's, yes, okay, so this right here is the base. All right, this is getting ready to open up. You had to close out some things in order to open up here. Now, this doesn't always, it looks beautiful. It does. This looks beautiful. However, there can be, when you're getting ready to open up a heart space, it can be very beautiful, or it can feel a little unsteady when you go into this new cycle. So let's see with the tarot what that puts us at. All right, Scorpio. So let's see where you're at now through this, what you came from, and where you're going. All right, for our Scorpio collective, angels, ancestors, guides. It's a whole new world, a new fantastic point of view. Where to go? You say you're only dreaming. A whole new world. I'm envisioning somebody's emotions, or I'm feeling them a little bit, a tug from them. It's a feeling like I've been in this cycle for so long. It's hard for me to see a different way. It's hard for me to see a different world. Everything's always cycled in and out in this manner. Is there really something different on the other side of that bridge? King of Swords here in the reverse. This is an air energy. Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. If it's a person, it's a masculine. But it's in the reverse. Somebody may be withholding some truth or some information from you, or you may be in this energy with someone else. So there might be something that's unclear, or you're just simply dealing with an air sign who is not operating in their highest good, and they may be holding back information that's very important, educational opportunities, or they could actually be holding you back if you're allowing them to. Look what's on the bottom of this deck. If that's not a coincidence, or I wouldn't say coincidence, if that's not an omen right there, this cycle. It's that cycle. All right. What's crossing this for Scorpio? All right. So you got 3 energies crossing. I'm going to put this down so I can read them. Okay. This is a younger water energy. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. It's masculine. This might be incoming, the way that I'm looking at it, because their back is actually turned to this older, masculine air energy. Knight of Cups is someone who's coming onto the scene. They know how to show love. Their heart's full of love. They're kind of a bit of an amateur at it, or when it comes to energy, it's a new found feeling of energy, of emotion that's kind of popping up and has been around for a little while, but it's really starting to bloom. If you notice, he's got fresh red dozen of roses in his hand. He's sitting there waiting at this depiction of the Knight of Cups, and the other Knight of Cups in this deck. Um, this Knight of Cups is actually on the horse on the way. This guy's got his horse, which is actually a beautiful white stallion, standing there waiting in the background, kind of excited to go somewhere. But this guy is waiting here with a picnic blanket, a letter. So there may be a younger water energy that's waiting on you, or waiting to have a meeting with you, or you may be that water energy that's turning your back on an air sign, and you may be waiting. And if you are waiting, it's either to take a leap of faith or possibly for a Gemini. The Fool can also be Virgo energy. I always look for myself at the amethyst stone that she's holding to be uh, a stone that helps with sobriety. So someone may have been dealing with some type of addiction or something like that, and we're finding a new love or a new emotion around taking a leap of faith, having more trust, and falling into a future idealistic, and actually looking into the emotional state of what it would be to experience a sobriety and an equal give and take partnership, relationships, or being someone who no longer, this is not a breadcrumbing card in this depiction. And if you'll notice, breadcrumbs or equality was one of the words that I got in meditation, and here the Six of Pentacles comes out in the crossing energy, which is this is beautiful energy to be crossing a negative King of Swords. So if you're coming from a place where you weren't getting the honesty, the anything, and it might have been from an air sign or something like that, that was not operating right, they weren't using wisdom, they weren't using truth, this newness that's coming in is actually refreshing. It's Gemini, Virgo, and water energy. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. And there is an equal give and take with whatever this new thing is. And I feel like this is coming in as part of the new cycle, which is what we looked at with these three cards that came out and fell separately on the table. Show me the recent past for Scorpio. I'm not going to go very far with this, but you may have received a passionate message from someone, maybe a fire sign, or that's just the energy that it was in. It came quick and it came fast. It's somebody who was throwing caution to the wind and just running out into the future. Could have been about an air sign or whatever, or it may have been from a water sign, about a Gemini, Virgo, I don't know. Either way, it was like, okay, that's it. Now here we are, into the new cycle. That page may have been the beginning of the new cycle. Okay. I'm going to shuffle these. Spirit, angels, ancestors, guides for the rest of this reading. Two more. Hopes and dreams. You or the person you're dealing with may be thinking a lot or hoping that someone will not let go, or hoping that we can hang on to something going forward. We've got our eyes shut, or we're turning our back on the past and holding on to what we've got. We've been thinking a lot about how we can hold on to something, or keep in our grasp the things that are precious to us and keep, I'm hearing that song, Keep the Wolves Away. Uncle Lucius did that. You can look up the lyrics. There might be a message in there for you. Uncle Lucius, keep the wolves away. All right. Scorpio, fear, or who they're dealing with fearing. What's the fear here in this reading? Okay, there is a fear around the new thing. It's like you can see the opportunity there, or you may not even be looking at it right now because your eyes are closed over here. But I'm getting the feeling that the fear around that opportunity that's sitting here with a pentacle is that I won't be able to make any money. I won't be able to get my stability from that. There's a lack of trust here in the fear position. So in your subconscious, there is a fear that could potentially become a block for whatever this new thing is because of money, stability, or whatever. So there's a lack of trust for some reason. And so that's something that our fear position is often our challenge position. Hang on just a second, guys. Yeah, if you fear something, that's one of your biggest challenges, but triggering emotions like that are 100% a growth opportunity every time if we're willing to take a look at it. You know what I mean? So if you feel triggered by something, we want to run from something that we get triggered by. But the bravest person in the world can look at that trigger and say, okay, let me get this rest and rejuvenation. I got to pull my bootstraps on so I can face and go into here. Because if I can just do that and get over that hump, there might be more to that than meets the eye. Transformers, more than meets the eye. Are you willing to transform into the new cycle? Or do you want to stay back here holding on? Do you have the cojones, the bravery to do that dive, take this leap of faith? It may be towards sobriety, a place where you can equally give and take because you're not depleted. I'm not talking about sobriety just in drugs, alcohol, and things like that. What if you have addictions that aren't to do with that? What if you're addicted to sex? What if you're one of those people who loves to be in love? What if those addictions come from a place inside of us that is an unhealed space from previous trauma that we run from. So we get a hold of strongholds that become addictions, something that we do often to check out of the emotion that is around something that triggers a feeling, a fear. So you may have had issues with stability in the past. Your stability could have been jerked out from under you. And in this last cycle, you may have encountered an individual or gotten yourself entangled with an individual who tapped on that very trigger and brought you to a place of instability so that you could find your way out of it, to understand that the place of stability doesn't come from the outside, it comes from the inside. And it forced you to have to look at it. And you can either choose to run, or you can take this cycle to choose to take that trust fall from your higher self, that you're going to be taught the lesson in a different way this time, because you can count that lesson done. And you can look at the world in a new way going forward, where you can develop a skill that takes you past the way it always has been happening in every cycle after cycle. You can cycle that completely out and take on a new adjacent possibility here. And you might be surprised what's behind that door, but you don't know until you go ahead and take the trust fall toward it and give a little. Gotta give a little love and some tenderness. Take a little time, a squeeze and a little touch. That's what a woman wants. Yeah, give a little love. I want some more of this. Take a little time. The Judds, or Winona, anyway. In the near future, show me. In this energy, what's coming. Okay. Beware of the speed in which you may, the Knight of Pentacles can either, he will slow things down. Yes, it's building. Knight of Pentacles is building. But if the Knight of Pentacles turns his back on that cycle with the world coming in reverse, you better be careful if that's the direction, because with this fear position still here, fearing, then you're slowly still trying to build on something and you're not closing out the cycle. So it's going to take a lot longer for this to build. He's alone and his horse is following him. He could move faster if he got on the horse. Adjacent possibilities. And his coin would still come with him. But in order to do that, this world cycle would have to go ahead and be allowed to end. It's about allowance. That means the trust fall has to be made. That's why that's a challenge position too. Because now we know, we've gotten the message about the truth or something being upside down up here with an air individual or an air energy. Thoughts, education, research, whatever it is, we know there's not truth behind it and there's not a lot of wisdom there. What's an outside influence on this? There's a lot of celebration, maybe quite a bit of partying. Four of Wands, or a prior connection that may have involved a third party here. Three of Cups. These people have their back turned, or they're headed into the party, basically. But the Nine of Pentacles is in reverse, so that's costing us money. This celebration, this third party energy, whatever it is that we're doing on the side, every time we go to this party, every time we go to this meeting, every time that we engage with this situation, we lose some type of stability, some type of money, something like that. It slows things down. It doesn't allow the cycle to end. So there's an energy of needing to pull back from that. What is the potential outcome here? There's that Six of Cups. There's the past lives, the nostalgia. Kids, family. How can this possible outcome be in a positive way? Page of Pentacles in reverse. Okay. If you have recently started investing in something or something tangible, there's a need to pull back from that a little bit, I think. Let's see. What's the advice here? What's the advice for Scorpio here? Cancer energy. Balancing the good and the bad, looking at both, being down into the water or the emotion around that. Cancer energy, though, you got to be careful with it, because Cancer energy can say you're fine when you're not, when you're really ruminating. There's an air of rumination about the feelings and emotions around something here. And this Knight of Swords being in the reverse, choosing this time not to run away from the emotions, Also, to be more expressive about the things that are on your mind would open up a new door, possibly trigger others. What else? Advice for Scorpio. There's a whole stack coming out here. Let me put these down. Yeah, you also need to make a decision between two. That Two of Pentacles is in the reverse, or you need to stop juggling something around. It's keeping you too busy. Okay, here is an Aries, Libra, Taurus energy. In the upright, this is a mother, a wife, a fertile energy, very angelic, with new ideas and opportunities. This person, if this is an individual, you may not see this coming, but they have laid down all of they've learned the lesson, they've been there, done that, but they've laid it down. You can also read this as this energy, it's in the upright. So whoever this is, if this is an individual, in the advice, this individual is good. Libra, Aries, Taurus, feminine. Okay? But you can also read this as there is a lesson around this person that we still haven't picked up. We picked up the one and we laid it down and we choose not to look at it. But I really feel like that this individual has laid all these ones down. Like they've done that cycle, they've laid that down. They've got new ideas. They're moving forward. They're in a peaceful place. Now they're sitting here looking at the new opportunities. And yeah, Aquarian energy with a star. There's a lot of healing here. Looking up to the light. Yes, there's many opportunities in choosing the star, which is the direction that you should be looking toward. Or you may have Aquarius, Libra, Taurus, or Aries energy in your chart. Cancerian energy in your chart. It could be either of those, but just as an energy itself, it's time to look at new opportunities. The birth of a new world that's growing inside her belly. She's getting ready to have this baby. The rest and rejuvenation around that, she's peaceful. And we can lay down the burdens of the past and look at the options that we have. This guy just can't quite figure out which cup to turn around. But in the healing space, in the dreams and hopes that we have, there is positivity here. It would be good for Scorpio or the person they're dealing with and the collective here. So this is a very encouraging reading, where in the past you may have been brokenhearted and it may have felt uneven. I'm in misery, but for you everything is all right. You may actually be the one that leaves someone behind, and that may really tug at your heartstrings to understand that your healing may trigger them. But sometimes your healing and moving on can trigger somebody else and actually be an example for their own healing in the near future. So you got to look at it objectively. It's a whole new world. It really is. Okay. So the Light Seers is sitting here with a stack of cards over here that didn't get shuffled in here. And let's see what they say. There is an Ace of Cups that you don't see coming. This is a brand new offer. Two of Cups is here. Okay. This is a partnership, a coming together with someone. And it is not a Leo. Leo is in the reverse, the sun. There's a Leo that is not wanting to wrap up a cycle. So that they may not want to end things because they're afraid of the tower falling down. They're terrified of it. There may be a Gemini, Virgo energy, or Scorpio. You may be actually manifesting despite these energies because you came into partnership here, and this Leo energy is not going to like it too much. But you're manifesting the new. You want the new cycle, or somebody you're dealing with does. Leo may go out of the picture, and you may be looking toward a Virgo Gemini combo over here. That's no coincidence. That was laying there on its own like that. Spirit has funny ways of doing things, right? I thought I had every one of them cards in the beginning of the shuffle. But they were laying there in the perfect stack, and I picked them up just like that. Animal Oracle advice to close out this reading for our Scorpio collective. Dang, you got 3 cards, Scorpio. Spirits loves you today. 40 minutes? Goodness. Face your problems head on with confidence and courage because you will emerge victoriously. That's the wild boar there. Roadrunner, but keep your sense of humor and don't take things so seriously. And the camels here, trust that you have the resources to get through the challenges before you. If you've done research on camels, you know what they hold in this hump right here? Water, because they're walking across a desert. Even though the area around you is dry and void of nutrients, you hold within you the water you need to make the journey. And that emotional space, there's a lot of nutrients inside of it. If you're willing to go there. Like a wild boar. Head on into it. Eat, drink, and move forward with courage. But make sure you don't lose your sense of humor while you do it. All right, Scorpio. This was a serious, in-depth reading for my Scorpio collective. Scorpios are close to my heart too. My daughter, my son, one of my best friends for 32 years. Like, so many people are Scorpios around me. And I love each and every one of you. Thank you for hanging in there with me if you're still here. Much love and light to you and yours. Until next time, Scorpio, like, share, and subscribe, and ring that notification bell.